Hey there, Tracy here. Welcome to January's Oh So Inspired Collaboration Hop. In today's video, I am going to be featuring a card inspired by @MustCreateCards, and I will have her linked down below, her Instagram, as well as a link to this specific card. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. And we have a couple of new members to our collaboration team this year. So welcome to Justine and Carrie. And here is a still photo of the inspiration that I am working from. Again, she'll be linked down below, as well as a link to the specific Instagram post. And don't forget, this is a hop, friends, so follow along. I will have the link to the hop playlist in the description box below, as well as each individual person's link. So I'm cutting a piece of Bristol Smooth down to 3x5, and this is going to be my panels. And I really love the color block situation on hers, but I did want to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to do just a little bit of ink blending here and create kind of a background scene, but I still want to feature some specific shapes, and you'll see. So I'm creating my sun here with some squeezed lemonade and then some wild honey. And then I'll come back in with the squeezed lemonade and just kind of blend those out. And I like to take my little microfiber cloth and it's really super wet, so I'll kind of dry it off. Then I'm coming in with spun sugar, which I need to badly re-ink. And then I'll come in with some picked raspberry, which I just re-inked, and so it's super, super wet. And I don't mind that I'm getting into that sun a little bit, not at all. I'm not looking for perfection here. So I'll come back in with the spun sugar and just kind of blend out that picked raspberry, and then I'll come in with my seedless preserves. And I'm just making kind of an ombre sunset, and I'll just kind of blend that back out. Then I'll come in with my dusty Concord, and finally with my Villainous potion. And I'm going to work my way up with that because I want, primarily purple. Okay, that's ready to go. Now what I want to do is some stamping. And so I've got this GinaK stamp set. It is called, what is it called? Serene Skies. And I've chosen little birds on the wire, and they just happen to fit perfectly, one on either end. So they will serve as more of the shapes on the inspiration card. And I'm going to come in with my Versafine, Clair, and Monarch, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this down. And I'll stamp it a couple of times because I am stamping over Distress Oxide. And I got that on there pretty straight and not bad. You wouldn't notice once I get the whole card put together. So I just want a nice dark silhouette, but I don't want black. No black on this card today. It would look great with black, don't get me wrong. But I haven't even used most of this stamp set. So now I'm grabbing the larger circle from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp down with some Summertime. And you're going to see that my Summertime ink, the label faded like crazy, but there's nothing wrong with the ink. So I don't know what happened or how it faded, but it faded. Because some of my ink lids fade like that and some don't. And I don't quite understand why, but never mind. I'm going to stamp this down. This is going to represent kind of one of those shapes again. So now I've got my shapes down, and I will off camera dry this just to make sure that all the ink is set. And then I'm going to cut this down into 1-inch increments. So I'm starting at the 5-inch, and then I'll go down to the 4, 3, 2, 1 till I have 5 1-inch pieces. So they're 5 1x3 pieces, which is exactly what I need to fit across the card and give me the little spaces in between. She used a die, which I don't have well, I probably do have a die, but I sure as heck couldn't find it. So I'm going this way so that I have a continuous seam. And then I'm going to round off the corners on these just for something different. And we'll speed this up a little bit and get all these corners rounded. And I'm using my 4mm size. Okay, those are ready to go. Now I've got a piece of white cardstock, and this is just some fun foam that doesn't have any kind of sticky on it, and I'm just gluing it down to each one of these pieces because I want to pop them up. And so I just cut them down to about 3/4 by 2 3/4 so that they would fit nicely on there. And then I'm going to grab the stamp that says Love You. So all from the same stamp set. You can mix and match, do you? You do you, boo. And I'm going to grab my white piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to grab my Mini-Misti, and let me just move these up so you can see everything that I'm doing here. I'm excited to have new members to the team, and I'm excited to be doing, casing cards that I've never seen before. So what I'm going to do so that I can measure, I'm going to grab my T ruler, and this is my A2 T ruler, and I know that I want the tops of those little, I don't know, those little panels. I know where I want them to start, and I don't know why I'm measuring here because I need to pull up some. Just brain, a little bit of a brain skip. Let's see, maybe I should flip this over. I just want to kind of place one of them so I know where to place my stamp. I'm not sticking anything down just yet. I'm just putting this down because I know I want to stamp down here. So I'll grab my little stamp and I'll place it. And then I can move all my little excess tools out of the way. Okay, I'm just making sure it's as straight as possible on there. I like the way she had just stamped a simple sentiment on the front of the card. So I'll get that stuck down, and then I'm checking it for straightness against my grid lines on my Mini-Misti. And by the way, I'll have everything I use listed in the description box below because it probably went by way too fast. I had to speed this up. I take way longer to make a card than you actually see on the video. So this is ready to go. Now I'm ready to lay down my pieces. And so I'm using my T ruler here. And I start to use it on this side, but I remember that, you see, this will fit nicely here to add a panel, but I'm not trying to add a panel. I'm trying to get the center. So I'm going to move this so that I've got the center point at the 0. I'm just going to lay kind of my heavy magnet on there. And I'm going to grab the piece that goes in the center. And I'm going to split it between either side of that 0. And then I know that is in the very center. Or, center adjacent. So just kind of wiggle things around until I see if I have it exactly where I want it, and I do. And then I'll go ahead and glue this piece down. And this is why I like this Fun Foam, is because you do use wet glue with it. So there's not you have a wiggle room. So I'm kind of flipping my ruler around because I still want it to be nice and straight, but I flipped it over because it was rocking because of that little centerpiece. So I just flipped it over the other way. Now I'm going to flip it back this way, lay my magnet down. My main thing is that it doesn't move on me because I've had it happen. So then I'll glue the end pieces first, and then glue the in-between pieces and space them out in between best I can. And I'm not using any kind of measurement to do that. I'm just kind of eyeballing. So we'll get this one glued down. See, I moved my thing. And then we'll get this one glued down, and they're all on there nice and straight. My little line stayed nice and straight. So that's ready to go. Now I'm going to decorate this with the leaves because I was inspired by the leaves on the inspiration piece. So I've used the ginkgo leaf from this one, and the rest of them I used from the Tim Holtz Funky Nature. And you see that they're hanging down, but I'm not going to keep them hanging down. I'll trim them off, but I want to trim them off after. And could I have glued these on first? Yes, but I wasn't sure where I wanted to put them yet, so I left it. And I thought I kind of want to place them after they're popped up so I can kind of see where they lay. So let's see, where do I want this one? Let's go with this one next. And I colored what I did was with the same Bristol Smooth cardstock, I colored I just basically ink blended with bundled sage, old paper, and speckled egg, and just sort of spread it out so that, the leaves would pick up 2 different colors. So that, again, it could be that sort of 2-tone situation in a much more subtle way. And we'll get this last leaf on here. And you'll see, and you can't see it on camera, but I accidentally get some purple ink on my white there, and I'll show you how I fixed it too. We'll get this one down, and then once they're dry enough, I'll start to trim them off. And I think I'll just trim this one right here. Get this guy right here, and I'm using my little pointy Tim Holtz scissors. Get this guy off of here. And right there, I got purple ink on there. You can't see it, but it happened. So be careful if you're doing it this way. So the way I fix that is I use my Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed-proof white paint, and I just paint right over it. It's easier than trying to erase it. And either way, it's going to leave a mark, so there'll be a little white smudge there, but at least it's white, and you have to look really hard to be able to see it. So I'm just covering that up, and then I'll let that dry, and we'll finish putting this card together. It only takes a second, and it's well worth the effort to keep everything nice and white. And I can't have white things, so yeah. So you really can't see that at all on camera. So once that's dry, I am going to trim it down a little bit more because I want a top and bottom border, but it is going to be white on white. So I'll trim, look, maybe 3/8 of an inch off of each side, or 1/4 inch, or maybe not even a 1/4 inch. I don't know. I'll trim a little bit. I'm not being precise about it. I'm just trimming where it makes me happy. Trim down this side, and I'm just being careful I don't lift anything. And that's ready to go. Now I'll just take another piece of that fun foam. So I buy the big pack with all kinds of colors in it. And I'm just going to hand trim this. The other ones I trimmed on my trimmer, but I'm just going to hand trim this because it's quicker. And these pieces they're like 9 by 12 or something like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just, okay. It just needs to be okay. If you want to trim it perfect, you go for it. But I didn't feel like measuring, and so there's that. I trimmed it with my heart. That's ready to go. Now I'll glue that down to a white side folding card base that's turned landscape. And just sort of center it top and bottom for that white on white. I really enjoyed this. I love, 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 love the card that we're casing. It's just gorgeous. So another day I'll probably do the same, probably closer to fall, because it had some nice fall colors in it. I think it was from an October challenge. Anyway, you'll find all the information listed down below. And there's the finished card. Hope you like it. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and hop along with the rest of the hoppers. We appreciate all your comments and shares and likes. So there it is. And in the end of the video here, I will show you a couple of still pictures and we will be done. Thank you so much for coming by my channel. Take care of yourself and see you around. Bye-bye.